What's going on? What's up? Going on in conversation, bro? Here with my brother. All right, absolutely.
What is finna say about Mississippi? Bloods and gangsters and vice lords they ain't beefing like Crips and Bloods.
No, man.
Like you have
It's
a lot of my homeboys was gangsters.
Or your cousins and all
Yeah,
that.
bro. So you don't beef like.
What's going on, man? How y'all doing, bro? Thanks for joining us. No, yeah, it's all good. But I'm just I'm doing a podcast with my brother Jim's the artist, man. So I just kind of wanted to give y'all a little sneak peek, and I'll send the link out and all that. It's just a beautiful thing hanging out with my brothers. We on a men's trip up here in the mountains of Tennessee, and just putting in that work, man. Doing what God is calling us to do, and it's a beautiful thing. And I'm having a good time. So y'all just kind of check us out, and I'll send the link out for y'all to watch the podcast in its totality. Straight like that, man. Love y'all. Straight like that. Straight like yes, sir. Ski.
We're gonna have to have quiet on the set.
Quiet on the set. Quiet on the set.
Y'all remember how respectful we was when Raven and me was doing it? We asking for the same thing right now. Y'all can go outside and play if you want.
Yeah, man, we're gonna out here knocking these podcast episodes out. I think this is the third one for today.
Yeah.
So we getting them in, man. Got some beautiful topics and some good discussions. Good discussions, a lot of meat on the bones, man, that you could take away from it and apply it, and hopefully, man, like Brother Jim just said the last episode, we only reach one person or two people, then we're doing our job, because there's not really high expectations for everybody to get this. You got it. So yeah, man, I tell you, the last one could have went a whole another hour. It could have went a whole another hour. Hey, you got to go over there, bro. You in the camera. You got the veggie straws and all that.
Get out that man camera, bro.
It might work. We good? We good? Yeah, we good.
Put the camera on.
Here you go.
Say something.
Testing, testing, testing.
All right.
Cool beans.
We're about to get started, man. We need quiet on the set. If y'all can stay over there, come over here, but not keep walking back and forth, up and down the steps. No, you can't come back down. No, I'm just yeah. If you would like, you can go outside and play, guys.
Mm-mm.
Can you, Derek?
I can't see nothing.
All right, just stand right there.
Yeah, we can. Get out the way, bro. You good, bro? Yeah, you good.
Yeah, nobody on there.
Yeah, we good, bro.
All right. Can we go now? We're gonna get quiet on the set. All right, cool. What up? Boy, Jim's the artist. Welcome to the Be Strong and Courageous podcast. Man, today's episode is gonna be DOPE. It's gonna be pure dope. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, because I got a very special guest, man. My brother, man. We're gonna be talking about because all right. We're gonna talk about marriage and divorce. So I'm married, and my brother here, man, he's divorced, and so we're gonna have some perspectives, man, that we bring. Hopefully, some information, man, that's gonna help at least one person. We already know the rate of this country, but it's about people getting about a 90% chance you're gonna get divorced, man. Get married to one of these women in this country. You know what I mean? You better go outside of this country to find you one. No, let me stop. Hey man, that's telling you women, man, y'all need to get up on y'all job, man. Y'all be playing like a man can't tell you what to do, man, and boss you around. No, man, I'm gonna bring my brother in right now, man. My brother from another mother, bro. Can you go ahead and tell us what's up with your brother, dear?
What's up, man? How y'all doing? I go by the name of Derek Lawson, and we just want to give y'all a very important conversation that I think is needed in our culture and our community about the importance of marriage, how important it is, how beautiful marriage is, and unfortunately, there are people like myself that have dealt with divorce, and how those two unfortunately correlate, and how people can avoid being in my situation because it's not something that's enjoyable. It shouldn't be something that is highlighted the way that it is in our culture. I think divorce is too common. I think it's too accepted, and I think people treat marriages like shoes and outfits. You know, we wear it, we do it, we participate in it until we get tired of it, until we get frustrated, we get a little wrinkle in it, and then we want to throw it away instead of appreciating for what it is, and the blessing, the blessing that God calls marriage.
Most definitely. So would you say that since it's such a high divorce rate that people are actually getting married, like you know how you choose a word, you say you want to be my girlfriend, you want to be my boyfriend type stuff back in the day,
Hmm.
and it's like I don't like this one, I'm gonna go get another one.
Hmm.
You think that's kind of like the mindset of our society?
Absolutely. I think it's just like with any other thing in American culture. You're supposed to get married and have a house. And so these certainly having a career and certain accomplishments, and you feel less than or empty when you don't have them.
Mhm.
But I also think there's this narrative that I've heard before that I agree with, that a lot of people get married for the wedding and not the
Wow,
marriage.
wow,
Because the wedding is a beautiful day.
the Cinderella effect.
Absolutely, the story and the fellowship and the reception and the pictures and all of the stuff you can put on Instagram, and all married and the honeymoon and all of those
Right,
great things that come with marriages. But when it's time to apply the vows,
right.
then I think that's when it gets complicated, and then that's when you realize the work that takes to be married.
Right. So my question would be, even with what you just said, do you think that a lot of people don't really know what they're getting themselves into when they take those vows? When they say, "I want to marry you, I love you, you're my everything." The actual effect of knowing, like, I now have to choose every single day that this is my spouse, and I have to choose to love them no matter what.
Hmm.
You think people don't even think that far?
I don't think they think that far. I think we think that the first iteration of our marriage, the honeymoon period, as some of us call, I think we think that's how it's supposed to be every day.
Hmm.
And I don't think we understand that you're not going to have this enjoyable moment every single minute of your marriage. And I think the moment it gets complicated,
Right,
the moment it gets a little rough, you go through rough patches. It's easy to say through sickness and health, and through, to death do us part.
right,
When we got money, when we ain't got money.
hmm,
When things are great, when things ain't so great.
right,
When we laughing all the time, but when we ain't talked in 3 days.
mm,
I think they don't think that far down the line.
right. So I think I have a great question because I think about like growing up, for instance, right? I'm gonna throw adversity in here for a
Hmm.
second. That word is so important. I think growing up, a lot of times when you see old school couples and stuff that been together, a lot of times they were able in their independent single lifestyle to deal with adversity.
Hmm.
So when they came into it, they had already been battle tested.
Hmm.
So when I say that, I remember growing up. I know this society we on the divorce type vibe, right? A lot of people didn't face adversity head on.
Hmm.
So I think a lot of times you will see people who will run from a fight or run from maybe an adventure or whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
Would you say that not learning how to deal with adversity on your own could play a vital role in divorce?
Absolutely. I think we've become a softer society over time.
Right.
So I don't think we handle adversity the way that our parents and our grandparents handled adversity. That I think because of the family dynamic
Mm-hmm.
has broken down so much. That's why we don't handle adversity well. And I also think technology plays a part in that. When our parents and grandparents were married, when dad went to work, he didn't talk to mom all day.
Yeah.
Okay,
You couldn't
so
text him and ask him
whether
how they
whether
stuff.
you needed milk from the grocery store or your son died, he would not find out until he got home.
Mm-hmm.
Now, your wife calls you every 5 minutes. You get text messages all day. So, I miss you. How can you possibly miss me? I talked to you 10 minutes ago. I know what you had for lunch. So I think all of that has played a role in how the family dynamic is broken down and how marriage is viewed. We're around each other all the time. There is no time to miss one another.
That's
There's
right.
no time to even appreciate what it's hard to appreciate what you have when it's right there.
That's right.
Sometimes when your wife goes out of town or your husband goes on a business trip or when you're having this separation, you develop this appreciation for your spouse. And I
Mm-hmm.
think about surrounding and involving entrenching ourselves every minute of the day has played a role in that as well.
Most definitely, man. I think you're 100% on point, man. And a word you used was devalue. I don't. Well, you didn't say that word, but
Hmm.
devaluing things that you're so used to.
Hmm.
I think, man, that is something that needs to be addressed because it's like system. Like you wanted the game system for Christmas, right? Oh man, I want this game system. And you get the game system when the new game system come out. What you do? How you feel about the old one?
You don't even want it anymore.
So when you so used to something, man, it's very easy to devalue
Hmm.
something that you're so used to. And even if you see something new
Yep.
that come around. So a lot of times in divorce, you devalue what you have because you want something new.
Yep.
See where I'm going with that?
Hmm.
Man, can you give us a little insight on that perspective?
Yeah, because we play dangerous games and we've created these terms that have been detrimental to our marriages. I'll give you an example. My work husband, my work wife. You know how dangerous that is
Mm.
to even
Side
put
chicks and
someone
side
outside,
pieces.
not even from that standpoint. Like
Yeah.
there's a term of work wife. This is just somebody that I work with and they buy me lunch from time to time, or they, and what happens is I build this affection so much that I've given you the title wife,
Yeah.
wife, work husband.
Wow.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
And I think what happens is when you start to play those type of games, you open the door for side chicks, side dudes, creeping out on your husband, creeping out. It's so much of that going on. Um, I know married couples that dip in and out of their marriage, and that's very, very dangerous. But I think the you hit it right on the head. This shiny new thing over here. And we all got children. You give your children a brand new toy, even after you just gave them one,
Mm-hmm.
they'll put that toy down
That's right.
and they have no more appreciation, no value, no understanding for all of the what it took for you to get them that toy. They just see the new shiny thing. And I
Let,
think we've done that in marriage.
let me ask this. You just said something. The new thing,
Hmm.
even though you just got this. So that tells me a lot of background things. People like to give kids always something new, a new bike, and they can already have these things.
Hmm.
How detrimental you think it is in the raising aspect of what people doing with the new this, new that, that it really affects their marriage and
Hmm.
how they perceive things in marriage.
Yep.
What you think about that?
Because it also affects your mindset of that's how you think that you should be receiving things, where these are emotional conversations, gifts, trips,
A new feeling.
that new feeling. There are marriages being ended because I don't feel like you take me on trips.
Mm,
Or I don't feel like we do anything. I don't feel like we're making the money we should be making.
wow.
Because social media has changed the way we view everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we view relationships different because we're coveting other relationships. See, back in the day when we had that, you knew your friends and maybe your family, and you knew the extent of the marriages of what they projected out there. Now everything's out front. We watch everything you eat, every trip you go on, the house that you live in. We post everything. So there's every car that you drive.
Mm-hmm.
So now the big ring that you got. So now there's this coveting, and now we're viewing things different. It's the same thing with how both men and women are putting themselves out on social media. So now you're gaining this attractiveness for people that you don't know, and now you're chasing something. You're chasing an itch that you're never going to be able to scratch.
Wow, man, you just said a mouthful because what's so detrimental in this thought process, what social media has in given us is one of the oldest commandments, thou shalt not covet, is one of the newest ones that it's not a new one, but it's one of the ones that is being magnified in our culture
Hmm.
because when you do show off everything you got, it produces
Covetousness.
covetousness.
Yep.
That is a dangerous thing. So imagine this. Would you say that? So just say the man is working, he's doing his thing, he got and he got his wife at home, and she don't even have to work and stuff, and she doesn't have a job that he gave her.
Hmm.
So she has a free for all with social media or wherever she want to be on, and then now she's seeing maybe someone who she thinks looks better than my husband. You see where I'm going with this?
Hmm.
What do you think is actually happening in these realms where these women are home alone by themselves? Because women cheat on their athlete husbands
Hmm.
and all this kind of stuff.
Hmm.
It's the not having something to do effect,
Hmm.
right? Not being motherly, not being wifely, not having that as the forefront. Do you think that that is a big reason why a lot of these marriages fail?
It's a lot of time to be thinking. It's a lot of time to sit there and fester in your thoughts, your feelings. Your feelings change. So you women are emotional. We understand that. We accept that. We want an emotional woman.
Mm-hmm.
But what the downside to that sometimes is you go through these up and down peaks and valleys of feelings. And that could be detrimental to your marriage because you start to let that snake talk come in,
Come on, man.
that whisper get in your ear.
Right.
And that whisper might not be a physical whisper. You understand what I'm saying? That
Mm-hmm.
whisper could be like, he looked better than my husband. You we gotta draw lines because when you start letting the comments slide, hey beautiful, when you let these things slide on Facebook and stuff like that, and you know you're married, you're playing a very, very dangerous game. And and what happens is sometimes it's happened to me. Sometimes you will see something on social media that you feel disrespected as a husband,
Mm-hmm.
and your husband or wife might approach you and say, hey, I need you to take that particular thing down. You don't delete the page
Wow.
because you're more embarrassed on how everyone else is going to view that one post being removed or that one person being blocked. It's easy for you to explain it to, I'm tired of social media, so I'll shut my page down.
Mm.
So it's certain lines that we cross, and we logically create these scenarios to excuse certain behaviors in our mind.
Right. Man, that is what you just said is key in understanding the power of purpose. Like a man has a purpose and a woman has a purpose, and if the man is in his purpose and he don't give his, it's a man's responsibility to give his wife purpose.
Amen.
And if you don't give her purpose, you can't be mad when someone else come along
Absolutely.
and give her it seems to give her a purpose.
At the end of the day, you're the lead. You're the head. So even when certain things is kind of like a sports analogy, a coach can get his team prepared to play and put them in a position to prepare to play, and they go out there and do not execute the game plan.
Mm-hmm.
It's still going to fall on the coach because if they didn't take heed to the game plan, then you didn't prepare them.
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't execute this play, you didn't prepare them, and that might not be um, necessarily your fault, but you're the head. You weigh the title, so it's your responsibility. It begins and ends with you.
Man, this is a beautiful conversation because of the simple fact that it goes along with a lot of ways I think right now. And the reason I say that is that I don't think a man should get married if he don't even know who he is.
Hmm.
I don't think a man should get married if he's never had a rite of passage to become a man.
Hmm.
Because you're entering a dangerous territory by saying we'll figure it out. We No, the job of the man is to know where you're going, and
Hmm.
then the helper comes in to help
Hmm.
you go in that direction.
Yep.
So we got it backwards, and that's why the numbers are so alarming now
Yep.
because it's so backwards. So what do you think? Do you think it's very important that it's not so much of a woman. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's important that a woman knows how to do womanly duties, of
Mm-hmm.
course. But I think it's more important that a man is ready in all assets of life, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
before he gets married. What do you think?
Absolutely agree with that. You cannot join a football team and you don't understand or know what position that you want to play. You haven't trained and you expect to join a team and get team accomplishments. You haven't done any training. You don't even know, oh, I'm going to play punter, I'm going to play quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But when you go into a marriage saying, this is who I am as a man, these are my boundaries, these are my standards,
Yep. Yep.
right? We talked about standards a while ago.
Right.
These are things that I am not going to move on. These are my principles. And once that established, then because what happens is when you're so we driven, what happens when the we breaks up? What happens when the we breaks down?
Yep.
Then you're standing there holding the bag like, well, wait a minute. I don't even know. When I got divorced, I thought certain things that I didn't like. And I realized, no, it wasn't that I didn't like them. Like I thought I was a homebody and
Right.
don't like going nowhere and don't like doing things. Man, we in the mountains enjoying the men's retreat. I
Right.
wouldn't have done this married because I'm a home. I don't do nothing. I just like being at home, and I lost myself.
Wow.
And I didn't even realize that I lost myself until it was myself.
Wow. Wow. That's powerful. What you just said. I didn't realize I lost myself until I was by myself. That is a powerful statement. And of course, we're going to get into the journey of healing in 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
What gets me is the uh, not being able to. I'm gonna go back. I'll go back here real quick. The man, it's so important that the man, like you said, principles, values, morals, because when you have that intact before you meet the woman, it's almost like this: a new guy comes from another school. He knows he's a quarterback. They already have a quarterback at the new school, right?
Mm-hmm.
He comes in and tells the coach, "Hey, bro, I'm a quarterback. Give me my shot."
Mm-hmm.
You see, it's different than him coming in and being quiet,
Yep.
right, and expecting somebody to know he's the quarterback.
Yep.
That's, I think, what a lot of men are doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're walking in relationships being quiet about and thinking that somebody knows how I need to treat you, how I need to do with you. So that stuck out to me because it is very important that a man have those principles, morals, and values, because guess what happens then? You give the woman an opportunity to make an informed decision on if you're going to be the guy
There
she
you
wants.
go.
Without giving the woman the informed decision, you can't be mad later on when you're changing
Mm-hmm.
and you're trying to set precedents in the house that she like, I'm not with that. That's not what we said at the beginning.
Yep.
Some men get lucky.
Yeah, man.
Some very few men get lucky that your wife goes along,
Yep.
like me. I ain't have it all together, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But
Yep.
it's like as I've journeyed, that I did have some things in line though.
Mm-hmm.
I had God,
Yep.
so by having Him help me,
You had the foundation.
yeah. So I had the foundation there,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't have all the leadership qualities that I needed.
Mm-hmm.
And just so happened, God gave me an amazing woman that would come alongside of me in all my craziness.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not as fortunate,
Mm-hmm.
because I guarantee you, how long have you married, bro?
I was married almost 10 years.
10 years. So I guarantee from the time you met your wife, as a young man, there were things about you that changed. There were certain ways about
Mm-hmm.
you that changed. And guess what happens? She might not have either noticed it, or she probably did notice it, and who knows that it didn't go off in her mind that, oh, he's changing, I need to change.
Yep.
So it's so many factors that go along with it. So I think by having, because I'm a big advocate for a man becomes a man at 12. I'm a big advocate for that now, because our Lord and Savior, that's what. And the reason I say that, because then you start to build principles and morals and values. Not to say you get married at 12,
Right.
but you have a perspective now
Mm-hmm.
that whenever a woman comes in, this is how we eat, this is how we sleep, this is how we move. And I think by not having that a lot of times and changing along the way,
Mm-hmm.
people fall. It's just like your spiritual journey.
Yep.
People are gonna fall off as you grow.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think is the key for a man to develop principles, morals, and values before you meet a woman?
You have to know God. We're too arrogant as men to think we don't need God. And it's affecting more than just men. but we are the head under God. And if we don't have that foundation and that understanding, it's never going to succeed, even if it feels successful.
Even if it feels successful.
Even if it feels successful.
Because you can, it's almost, I'm going to go back here. Let me get over here real quick. It's almost what you just said. You can have a facade in your household that's not even a true reality.
That's correct.
So the facade could be when these people come over, we clean up, we act like this, we do this, and as soon as they leave, we back to being normal.
Mm-hmm.
The normal is, see, that's why I'm big now on my marriage just being out front. I believe everybody can see a peep in my house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The more they get to know me, because we act like this all the time.
All the time.
And I think that that's important. That your marriage is not a facade.
Correct.
It's not. It's not a picture of what you want it to be. It's actually how it is.
This is what it is.
It's no filter.
Mm-hmm.
It's the raw photo.
Yep.
So, man, do you think that that's a big reason people get divorced because of the facade?
I think
versus reality.
Yes, I do. I think people have a misconception of reality of what marriage is on a multitude of different levels. A lot of us have sexual trauma that we won't address.
Mm-hmm.
So we have these sexual expectations of our wife or our husbands that can never be accomplished.
Right.
Because you have this vivid imagination of what your sex life should be.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine what every aspect of your marriage, of what our date life should be, what our parenting role should be, because I have this misconception of what reality really is.
Right.
So I'm grabbing something that I'm never going to get.
Wow.
Because I have this misconception of what it's supposed to be. And so now you have marriages at 80-85% divorce rate. When adversity kicks in, when there are money issues, when there are infidelity issues, domestic issues, you don't like the way he's raising your children, or you don't like the way he's moving, you don't like the way that she does things, you don't like the way that she's grown, that she's changed for the better or for worse. And I think all of that plays a role in divorce. And plus we're living in a society where we are being told every day, follow your heart, do what makes you happy.
Oh, wow.
And that's a feeling.
Why did you go there?
Do what makes you happy, follow your heart. And so now we quit on everything. I don't like this job, I'm leaving. I don't like this friendship, it's over with. I don't like this food. Waiter. We don't deal with anything. We run away from a lot of stuff.
And that goes back to adversity.
Mm-hmm.
Man. How are y'all enjoying it so far? A lot of deep nuggets. Who getting hit? I really hope what we're doing here right now is bringing an awareness to how you should start to operate. For the women, of course, you may need to sit up under a woman that's seasoned. For the men, you may need to be able to look at another man and say, those are principles and values I want to add to my repertoire.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's helpful. What do you think about that? Do you think that it is imperative that man learns from man, woman learns from woman?
Absolutely. You can't learn how to fly an airplane from the guy that fuels the airplane. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't learn how to drive an 18-wheeler from the guy that signs the licenses. So you have to go to the expert of what you're trying to be. When you want to be a chef, you go to culinary school.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You want to learn how to be a welder, you go to trade school. So yes, if you want to be a godly man, then you need to surround yourself with godly men. Mm-hmm. Now, some of us don't want to be godly men. Some of us want to be worldly men or worldly women, and we surround ourselves with who we aspire to be.
Right.
A lot of us aspire to be rich, and that's why we, follow all these entrepreneurs and gurus and try to find ways to get rich, because that's what we aspire to be. Mm-hmm. You should surround yourself who you aspire to be. If you're married, you need to be hanging around married people. If you're a godly person, then you need to surround yourself with godly people.
Most definitely, man. Wow. We just covered so much. Hey, man, we might have a part 2 with our brother Derek right here, because this is a hot topic, and because there's so many single people out here that's in horrible situations, or been in horrible situations, and don't want another horrible situation. Mm-hmm. And I believe, like, we gave some nuggets today, bro. Mm-hmm. I believe we gave enough nuggets today to without you having to read the Bible to understand what you should be trying to look for. And I really recommend women, please, um, kill your pride. There's other women out here that's genuine enough to teach you how to be women, to teach you how to swallow pride and not be so attitudinal with everything. Every time someone gives you a little push or challenge, you don't run away. And I'm real big on that. Not don't run away. And men or boys looking to be men, you have to swallow your pride too. You have to say, man, that's an attribute that I want to add to my character. That's an attribute right there that I need. I need to become more disciplined, aware, focused, theocentric. That's God centered. I need to become more of that. I do not recommend any man to try to learn, to try to just do what his woman say, or I don't recommend any woman to just do what her man say. I don't recommend that. Do what God say.
Amen.
You should have a godly lifestyle before you meet your spouse. And if God has told you things before you met your spouse, those are things you have to hold on to. Or if your spouse wants you to change it, that's things you won't have to say, okay, this is not my spouse. So, any last words you want to put out there, bro, before we shut it down?
No, man, one thing that I've never said on any public platform or private platform, any private conversation that me and you had is talking negative on marriage. I still view marriage in a very, very high regard. I still think it's a beautiful thing. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. I have never, nor I never ever speak negatively publicly about my ex-wife, because we use love too loosely. And when I love a person, I love a person. And so I'm never at the point, or never will be at the point, where we're bashing. This is not a bash thing. This is just learn from it. And that's the fast way to heal.
Right.
Forgiveness when you want forgiveness. There's a point coming very soon where we're all gonna want forgiveness.
Most definitely. Hey, y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. You know what I love, man, is you notice we don't got no notes. We don't have no agenda. We pick a topic, man, that's near and dear to our hearts, and we move on it. You see, the reason I say that, because there's so many podcasts out here that, we got to, this is the agenda, we need to talk about this. And the reason what I love about it is because what's really in you should just come out. You know what I'm saying? And that's something I've noticed. What's really in you should just come out. So I appreciate, man, the genuineness, man, the no agenda focus that you have, bro. Like, I just, this is who I am in God. He's working on me, and I'm letting him work on me.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? So pretty soon our brother will be married. Again, even if he said he don't want to be married.
Yeah.
Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Peace, grace, and love. All right, we out.
Yes, sir, Ski. Cool, man. That was a good one. Appreciate that, brother.
We said that was the best one.
I said that was a good one. Hey, man. Correction Conversations. Thanks for watching behind the scenes. I'll make sure I'll send out the link for our brother Jim's the Artist page, man, and check out all the content. He has wonderful, wonderful content. If any one of y'all that follow me that have ever questioned, man, because I know a lot of y'all know me from my past. Like, how did you get on this, or how the path that you're on, or getting to the level that you are, man? Go to Jim's the Artist YouTube page and start watching that wonderful, wonderful content. And it just pick one. I mean, it's so many nuggets, it's hundreds of videos, but you can just watch and get these beautiful gems the beautiful gems that this brother is putting out there on his page, man. He's anointed. He is God and Holy Spirit filled. He is accurate. And reach out to him, man, and he'll do the same thing that he's done for me and a lot of my brothers. And that is passing the word and giving us the inspiration that as God has placed on him. And he is a very, very anointed brother. So thank y'all for watching, man. We appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Y'all already know that, man. God bless.